How can a 21-year-old guy with zero athletic ability and zero previous experience somehow end up competing at the Olympics in 4 years? What a ridiculous story, but this is the true inspirational story of Ruben Gonzalez. Watch this video to figure out how he did it. Ruben is an international best-selling author, self-development coach and peak performance expert, and is the only guy to have competed in 4 Olympic Games across 4 decades. At the age of 21, after encouragement from his father, Ruben started to read biographies of childhood heroes and people that he looked up to. These included the likes of Wilma Rudolph, who overcame polio to become an Olympic champion, and Louis Pasteur, who invented pasteurization to develop a vaccine for rabies. Before long, he started to realize that a lot of these biographies had a lot in common. Each of the people in these biographies started off with a dream, went through a lot of adversity and endured really difficult times, and then finally they achieved their goal. Eventually something started to click in Ruben's mind. Something like training for the Olympics seems like an impossible task reserved for alien, almost superhuman type people. But from reading these books, what if it is simply just a case of taking on the Herculean task and putting in the hours necessary to train for the Olympics? Fast forward 4 years of incredibly tough and difficult training in the luge, his chosen discipline. Ruben competed at the 1984 Winter Olympics in Sarajevo. What were the secrets of Ruben's success? How did he manage to pull this incredible feat off? Firstly, I should just say that he did manage to find a hack of competing at the Olympics, and that's by choosing a sport that wasn't very popular and was actually in danger of being thrown out of the Olympics because of a lack of competing countries. In order to qualify, he simply needed to be in the top 50 of lugers worldwide, which is no short feat in most disciplines, but in the luge, that's not a particularly high standard. Nevertheless, it's clear from reading this book that the reason that Ruben succeeded is primarily because of his mindset. He just had a never say die attitude. He just wouldn't quit. In fact, people called him the bulldog because he just bit onto this thing and just would never let go. He's broken his bones many times. He's broken his ribs, he's broken his knee and his elbow and many other bones that I can't even remember. He's maxed out his credit cards to pay for this. He's had people laugh at him, tell him he can't do it. And he's done thousands of white knuckle luge runs that taxed his body to the limit, but he still carried on going. He just wouldn't stop. One of my favorite quotes from the book highlights this beautifully. I'm just going to read it to you now. A funny thing started happening. Every day there were less people showing up for practice. They were actually quitting on their dream. I couldn't believe it. Maybe they didn't want it as badly as I did. Maybe they were not smart enough to call someone when they were struggling. I don't know why they quit. Sometimes you really just have to be more persistent and dedicated than the next guy in order to succeed. I think there's a key learning point that we can take away from Ruben's story. We can frame adversity as actually a positive thing rather than a negative thing. We can frame it in our minds as, if I can just get through this obstacle or this challenge that I'm facing, then some or all of my competitors will not. Just like Ruben's fellow competitors dropped out of the luge because the training was so tough. Your competition will also be filtered out one by one as you commit to taking on and getting through ever increasingly difficult challenges. Reframing adversity in this way can really help us push through and get through those difficult times that we always face. So if you're going through a difficult patch, then give this book a read, because it'll probably pick you up and give you the energy and the inspiration that you need to carry on going. If you do happen to give it a read, leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to hear what challenges you are going through and how this book inspired you to stick with it and get through it just like Ruben did. Nailed it.